Broadcasting live from Business Radio X Studios in Pensacola, Florida. This is ITEN Wired Radio. Brought to you by IT Gulf Coast, Florida West, App River, and 850 Media. For more information, please visit itenwired.com. And now, here is your host.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Keith over here, and this is ITEN Wired Radio on this lovely cold winter. It is winter, right? Winter morning.
It feels like it.
Feels like it. So I'm gathered here with the cleanup crew. I'm going to call us. the aftermath of what's left.
The only ones that would answer my email to do the show is what it comes down to.
The suckers might be on our foreheads here at some point.
Yeah.
I was thinking survivors.
That's you.
That's right.
So we're going to talk about, well, I guess the wrap-up, really. So
introduce everybody.
Yeah, I'll let you go around the horn. Go for it. Jay.
This is Jay Smith. I'm the sponsorship chair.
Why isn't Jay coming through very loud? Go ahead.
Inconveniently close here.
There you go. There he is. There's Jay.
Yep. Jay Smith, sponsorship chairman, 5 years.
There you go. Jim Rhodes, App River. This is my 6th year directing the event. And
6.
The lovely Michelle.
So she's on 2, yeah?
Yeah, 2nd year.
Right.
Career Opportunities Expo.
This will be year 4 I'm going into, right?
Is it? Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I believe that's right.
Yeah. So we all survived?
Barely.
Barely?
That's,
What did, so I guess lay it out, like what was good, what was bad, what did all the surveys say?
they were all pretty positive. I mean, there's a few things we can tweak. We get that every year, and that's what we want to hear. We want to hear what we did well. We want to hear what we didn't do so well. But everybody loved the programming this year. They liked the spacing of between the event, the sessions, and all that. The reception, everybody loved that too. Versus last year being out in 90-degree heat and whatever else, and post-hurricane type.
It's a hot October.
Yeah, so they like bringing that indoors and kind of having everybody in one room. It just overall, I was pleasantly surprised. I was a little worried because we jazz things up with lunch and all that this year, and I thought we might get a little bit of
that worked out pretty good though.
It did. I think we're still going to tweak it a little bit next year. Actually have maybe a lunch keynote, and if you want to pay for lunch and listen to them, then we'll have that going on. We're still kind of figuring out what we want to do exactly, but overall everybody loved it. Bigger and better this year. We had close to 450 attendees.
It's crazy.
Which was about a 10% jump from last year. It just keeps getting bigger every year.
And we had 2 hotels this time.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, which we may not do next year, though.
We got to weigh that out.
Yeah.
We didn't handle the flow quite as well as we should have,
right.
Directing people back and forth from there. And I don't think we utilized the space like we wanted to, but it's still an option. We're running out of room. But I think we could probably use what we have over at the Hilton a little more efficiently. So we're going to look into some ideas. I don't think they'll
have the new convention center built by then either.
I keep praying every night.
We can pray.
Yeah, that the convention ferry, the convention.
From what I understand, it's in the works. It's.
I've been hearing that for 6 years, though.
Yeah, well, this time there's actually property for it to go on, though. So
that's a start.
See, I'll tell you what I liked the most was that we actually branched off into some cool things like the videos and the social media and the other pieces of tech and marketing and sort of bringing a business together in that realm and sort of how you can excel with it, because as much of the tech market as we covered and as much of the entrepreneur stuff as we did as we've done and talked about, like having that piece to it, because every business owner who doesn't want to do it all but ends up doing it all at some point because you kind of have to in the beginning. It was really good tips to help people actually be able to do it all for a minute and get off the ground, at least get enough, because you don't have enough money usually in the beginning to hire the marketing crew or to hire the guys to do the video. So if you can do some of it yourself in the beginning to get started and it works, then amen for you. So having some of that extra stuff in there, I thought this year was cool.
Yeah, I think we're going.
That's my world too, though.
Go ahead.
I like that. Just saying, it's a great perspective.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get back to the track format next year too. Maybe something geared towards a small business owner. We're going to kick around that idea. Definitely get into more deeper dive stuff on the cybersecurity side as well.
Yeah.
We're getting a lot of requests for that, and I think it's time that we up the game there a little bit in that regard, especially when you have such a huge crowd show up from the cybersecurity side between UWF and the military and everybody else that comes out. That's a big part of the event, and we need to expand the programming on that for sure.
So when we talked about the cyber competition, maybe bringing it around with some of the other national stuff that was going on.
That's being
Just
kicked
tossed
around
around.
as well. Yeah, I can't thank EWF enough for stepping up and helping manage that this year. They did a great job. I think we got a great partnership going on with them, and I hope that continues into next year.
Make it some big gaming championship too. I mean, we could, right? I mean, there's
Steel
all
cage
kinds of
death
stuff.
match type
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
Yeah, here we
When
go
do we get
with
the
that.
robots in there? They start blowing stuff up, right?
Right.
What do you think, Jay?
I think the programming was off the charts this year. I was in 2 different sessions on one day that were standing room only. The audience was engaged, a lot of question answer at the end, and I had never seen it that level before. So I was pretty happy about the programming part. That was definitely different from years past.
Yeah.
So that was exciting. Sponsorships, I think we're going to go back to booths next year. I can go ahead and put the call out, right?
Sure.
Go ahead and put the call out now
Yep.
for sponsors for this year. We're putting together the packages now, and
Which will be way bigger and better than it was before because we now have a lot more dissemination capabilities.
Absolutely. So I'm excited about that. We have a sponsorship team.
Jay has help this year.
He's staring down Michelle. As he says that.
I see.
It's going to be awesome. So I'm excited about that. So if you're interested in sponsoring, definitely reach out to us. You can email sponsorship@ITENWIRED.com.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That was one of the comments we got back in the surveys that for those that didn't notice or didn't attend this year, we decided not to have the bronze sponsorship sponsors have booths out in the hall, thinking that would free up space, make it a little more easier flow to get back and forth between the ballroom and where the food was, all that. But by the same token, it kind of took away, I think, some of the energy from the event.
Yeah.
And didn't seem quite as busy out there. And
Sort of made it look a little desolate when we wanted it to look full.
Exactly. So we're gonna bring that back. We heard enough comments from the sponsorship side that they would love to have a presence there throughout the event.
Yeah.
So look for the hallways to be a little more crowded next year. But
I do got to say, though, I'm going to call this out for all those that do sponsor next year. Like, up the swag game, man.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I like the swag game. I like the
Everybody does.
notepads and the pens and the pencils and the highlighters. Like, I got a weird fixation with that kind of stuff. This year's sort of swag game, and it's not just there. It's a lot of the places I've been to. The swag game is down this year. It's just not. It's not as good as it used to be.
But you got Cheetos.
I did get Cheetos. Now this is that saved the day for all of it. But to bring all the cool gadgets and stuff. I mean, that's how. I mean, look, I'm covered with them here, right? Because people leave the stuff all the time, and we use the notepads and the pens and all that. So for me, it's like it's free real estate. For you guys, it's free sponsorship, right?
That's it.
So up the game.
Yeah. So we're opening up the call for sponsors, call for speakers, all that now. We want to get a jump start on 2019. So sponsorship at ITEN WIRED.com.
We should just make it a whole week.
Sponsorship, yep.
Yeah,
Just do the whole I-10 week.
exactly.
Yeah, Jim's like, no. No. Or the cruise. We talked about
If
a
you
cruise.
clone me about 3 or 4 times, sure, have at it.
So I did get a lot of requests for robots.
Mm-hmm.
That was the one, and it was a legitimate request. It wasn't just like I just want to see robots. They really wanted to see some of like the IHMC stuff that the people were working on over there, and some of the technology that's coming out that way. I just saw yesterday the commercial for what's the thing that hits the ground and vacuums for you in your house?
Yeah, the Roomba.
Yeah, but now they have one that scrubs. It like shoots like floor cleaner and then goes over it and scrubs it. I thought, okay, that was kind of cool, right? So there's technology, but to see some of that stuff coming into the play here would be pretty neat.
Yeah.
Having iRobot walking around throwing basketballs and stuff would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Till it goes like AWOL or whatever.
Yeah, we're going to reach out to some of our previous sponsors that are in that field and see if they can bring some toys with them. And
Robot Wars,
that'd
man, I'm
be
telling you.
really neat. Yeah,
That'd
It
be
would
fun.
be very good.
robots, AI, drones,
Yeah.
virtual reality, all that kind of stuff. That really is nice to have that kind of hands-on experience type.
They had the who brought the little drone that they flew inside?
Oh, Pelican drones.
Yeah. Those things are a little scary. I mean, it's cool because he had control of it, but I didn't realize, I thought they needed all GPS and all that kind of stuff. So, but no, just right around in the conference room there.
He did.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank goodness it didn't have the flamethrower attachment.
We did tell them to leave that at home, didn't we? Yeah. So, okay. So, well, Jim, what do you want to see next year? Since you've had some time to digest, do you think? Other than maybe 2 or 3 more you.
Dear Santa, this is what I know. I definitely want to, as I just mentioned, get more of the sponsors back in the room or around the room.
Right.
Bring that energy back. I want to elevate the cyber competition, take it to the next level there. Part of the issue we've been dealing with there is the bandwidth problem at the hotel, and I think we got a way to get around that next year, hopefully. So maybe we can up the game there, make it a little more, expand it as far as number of teams participating, make it a little more. There's even talk about maybe just making an individual competition versus teams next year to really,
It sort of would level the playing field, wouldn't it? I mean,
creativity.
there's the equalizer right there, right? Is the computer. So
Right. Yeah, I don't know all the logistics behind putting that together, so I don't want to put that as
It's a hairy
just yet.
thing.
Yeah, but we're definitely toying with that idea.
Well, and I know he talked about also putting it in some form of schedule with possibly some of the other competitions that go on throughout the nation, and maybe making it a piece of the semifinals or something like that.
Exactly.
Which would be really cool, because then we'd have some outside people competing.
Right.
So we might be able to extend that reach of ITEN Wired to those that are on the other
To
side
the
of the screen.
masses.
So we thought that was kind of a neat idea.
Yeah, there's just no telling what's on the horizon. Surprisingly, Ariana Simpson's talk about cryptocurrency. That was a big hit. I was skeptical because
She knew her stuff too, man.
She did.
Wow.
She did.
I was impressed.
And I guess there's a lot of people out there that have heard bits and pieces about it, but didn't know exactly what it's all about.
Right.
She came in and helped clarify that, and I think she opened a lot of eyes with that.
So
too.
I'll tell you what I like. I'll tell you the reason that I really liked it. One, she could speak in front of a group, which is huge. Like, and she was able to convey cryptocurrency to me in layman terms, because I had no idea what it was.
Right.
I was lost at the end of it because I didn't know what all of the stuff that she was talking about. But for the most part, I understood where she was going. And it wasn't until people started asking like specific cryptocurrency questions that it just went over my head. And of course, I was doing other things too, so I wasn't necessarily paying attention 100% like I should have been. But I was really, really impressed with the fact that, she just knew her stuff. And people were asking her questions to try and stump her, and it didn't happen. I mean, she blasted it right off.
Well, we are trying to bring in experts.
I know, but this is such a new field for things.
Right, I know.
I mean, you just don't.
Yeah.
And honestly, you don't know because you don't know. So they could be fluffing a bunch of nonsense, and I would say okay because I just don't know the world of cryptocurrency. But
Kudos to Kelly Reeser on finding her.
Yeah.
She presented her to me and said, "Hey, I think maybe we ought to roll the dice and step up on our keynote speaker here." And
it worked out.
Yeah, knocked it out of the park with
yeah, I
that.
saw her getting. A lot of people they huddled around her afterwards, were asking her questions and stuff. So and they were all over that. And I thought that was cool too. The fact that the speaker stuck around afterwards, went off to the side of the stage, and then were there and accessible for attendees to come over and ask questions and stuff and hang out for a little while was neat, because usually they're off the stage and they're gone and you don't get to do any further discovery. But this year they all hung out and stayed around for like further questions and answers that went past their times, which I thought was really neat.
Right.
And we
So-
forgot to mention how we kicked all this off with the Career Expo.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
let's get-
So Michelle, what do you want to see next year?
Catalyst. Thank you.
You had a good turnout too, didn't you?
We did. We actually had an increase from last year. We had 18 employers last year, and this year we had 27.
It's a big
And
jump.
they
Big
were
ones,
great
too.
Yes, they were big name companies, local companies with great opportunities.
Amazon was there.
Yes, IBM was there.
Yeah.
we actually got some response over social media of people that actually landed a job. They were on Twitter. Well, that's
Jim just gave away your generation right there.
Yeah, I definitely gave away my
On the
age.
tweets and the Wi-Fi's.
On the tweeter. But yeah, it was just kind of neat. And I think that was within a week after the event
was.
wrapped up.
Yeah.
This guy was on there, saying, "Hey, I landed a job just because
That's
I
awesome.
attended the expo." And that kind of stuff,
That's exactly what it was there for, right?
That's
Yeah.
what it's all about.
you're on fumes trying to recover and not think about next year, but you see something like that, and that just sparks
Yeah.
the fire. And
That you know you're in the right direction.
Exactly. So I was very glad to see that.
And we wanna
love that
hear
kind of feedback.
more.
Yeah.
I'm keeping in contact with those recruiters over the time so that it won't be I'm asking 2 or 3
Right.
months out. We're keeping the communication open so that not only will this network grow, but we want to see it expanded, just as you mentioned
Yeah.
earlier.
So we'll get even more next year.
That's what I'm expecting. We'll be back in the Grand Ballroom, from what I understand.
Yep, we've already nailed down our dates for next year. They're October 2nd through the 4th at the Hilton.
I feel like I should write that down.
Yeah, it'd be nice if you showed up. But yeah, the plan right now is to have the Career Opportunities Expo.
That's it.
On the 2nd in the ballroom there
Okay.
at the Hilton.
What days are those?
That's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, by the way, folks.
Awesome.
Everybody wanted the end of the week. We're back at the end of the week.
I like that, because then you can stay and hang out.
Exactly. Happy hour will start at 4 o'clock on Friday and run until midnight Sunday, I think.
That's
Awesome.
correct.
That.
Perfect.
We can't forget the Tech Opportunities Expo, or should I say the Tech After 5.
Yeah. So we're see if we
Thank
can
you, Jay,
keep
for
it.
sponsoring.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well done, sir.
Good times.
Yeah.
It was a mixer after the Career
Yeah.
Opportunities Expo. We want to see that grow. It's a great opportunity for employers or recruiters as well as career seekers.
To be in that
a
non-sort
good-
of professional
yes,
setting,
absolutely.
which helps
But
really
with
get
the
to know people.
expectation, yes.
If we can have it on site where the actual expo's at, I think that will help us out. You know, when you have to transport yourself a little
Yep.
bit, I think people just tend to keep going across the bridge versus
Yeah.
pulling in the parking lot,
Yep.
and that
Yeah.
that hurts a little
We're
bit.
such creatures of habit too. Like, you leave one place and you're like, I'm done, you know, as opposed to just, all you had to do was walk 200 feet.
That's right. It didn't
It
take long.
wasn't that far.
But the ones who were there, actually, they did reap the benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just try to keep everything right within walking distance of
Yeah.
all the whatever's going on, and hopefully that will just continue to grow like it has every year. And I can't thank Michelle enough for what she has done with that, and just the 2 years she's been on the team, and you keep
You made
raising
it
the
a
bar.
success.
Enjoy what I do.
you made it work, you know?
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
she does an excellent job.
Thank
Glad
What,
to have her on.
I want to, Jay, what do you want to see next year?
I just want to see, as long as we keep growing, I just want to see bigger.
We don't have much room left, Jay.
Bigger, better. I want bigger, better. I want more sponsors, more. I'd like to hit 500 attendees next year.
Yes.
And I mean, don't forget all the back end of this. This is not just a once a year thing. It's a 12-month thing.
Absolutely.
And then we take that money and do all this cool stuff in the community with it.
Yeah.
So bigger and better. That's what I
Yeah.
want.
So what do we do with the money this year? Have we decided yet? Or is that something that we do later?
Oh, it all goes to IT Gulf Coast for them to reinvest back in the community versus through STEM initiatives,
Right.
and they also have that endowment with UWF
Right.
as well. So it all goes back to the community. We may hang on to a little bit for seeding money for next year, but for the most part, the profits go right back to getting the word out
Yeah.
and promoting STEM in the area and that kind of thing. So. I don't want to see that change, and obviously, the more people that show up, the more proceeds
Right.
we have to give back. So
Right.
I think it's only going to help us in this area more each year. So.
Yeah. So Mr. Carney's going to be gone this year too.
yeah.
We'll miss him.
We'll have to have his symbolic funeral.
I'll sing.
You'll sing?
Have a big portrait
She says, "Oh gosh,
of
but
him
I'll
in the
sing."
back there. Yeah, Paul, if you're listening, you did an excellent job again,
Yeah.
sir. We
Did, as
appreciate everything
always.
you've done. We miss you.
We should make him like the big Ho Chi Minh
Yeah.
picture. Just
No,
hang
no,
in the
no.
back with the flag.
We should just get the robotics people to program the robot to be Paul.
There you go. Like have a Sheldon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
In fact, TJ might know where to get one of those. I bet.
Or we get a hologram type
See,
deal
that'd be
going
even cool.
on.
He can just do it from the home.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be
He
pretty
could-
neat.
Yeah, he could still be part of it.
I still
So
think Sheldon would be better, but it'd be funnier.
I'm liking the hologram idea, though.
You know, it might work.
yeah.
Um,
But yeah,
that's
and-
a thought actually. Anybody want to sponsor Paul Carney's hologram? maybe Paul. Maybe
that. What would-
Paul wants to sponsor it.
What level would that be? Would that be 10 or would that be
10
silver,
times.
gold?
Yeah.
It would be 10, right? Or 10
at
foil
least.
or
Yeah, something like that. I mean, it kind of just keeps in spirit with how we try to do this event every year. We want it to be, different
Right.
every year. We don't want it to be the same thing. And, I didn't really necessarily want to lose the voice of I-10, but,
Yeah.
so when you come back next year, it will be a different MC
Yeah.
up on the stage. So
Jim Rhodes.
No,
like
it
that
won't be Jim.
suggestion.
No,
if I can
we're not gonna let that
pre-record
happen.
everything,
right.
maybe. But,
No.
yeah.
So, what do you think about the seating we had this year? Because I liked it personally.
I did too.
I like
Yeah.
the whole classroom style. Where you
Yeah.
have to kind of pay attention.
I think so too. What we may end up doing is, we use the ballroom as basically a breakout room
Right.
in between keynotes. I think what we may end up doing is just pulling those walls closed to section that off because there was a lot of background noise from the sponsor area there and all that was kind of distracting. And I think it's closer. Puts people closer to one another
Yeah.
in a breakout session. So we'll probably do that.
I think we need a bigger war room too.
Yeah,
It gets crowded. Just saying.
that's minor.
It gets crowded.
But the big issue you're dealing with there is you've got to feed people.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the ballroom is serving that purpose as well.
Yeah.
Breakouts, keynotes, everything. So we got to have time in there to do a room flip and get more rounds
Yeah.
in there for people to sit down and eat. It was a nice change. We may change up the combination a little bit, but I think we'll stick with something similar to that
Yeah.
this year.
I liked it. Like I said, I think it encouraged sort of paying attention. I think, as opposed to sitting at the round table, you start doing the discussion stuff. But that classroom style, you're focused on what's in front of you, and you kind of feel that
Yeah.
the need to pay attention.
Well, in a room full of rounds, it's just really hard to navigate around
Yeah.
too. You're just zigzagging in like a bumblebee everywhere.
If you can even zigzag.
Yeah.
We get to 500 people, you're just going to be standing room only.
As soon as the people are sitting at the chairs at the table, you can't get through anymore.
Yeah. So cool, man. So hopefully next year we will not have any hurricanes. We won't have any bad weather. We will have nice. I mean, it was nice this year. We didn't have anything like that. So
Yeah,
no,
ideally,
no
I'd like to-
humidity. Well, a little bit of humidity, but not too much.
Yeah, I'd like to have it a little bit later in October, but that's a very busy month out there
Yeah.
on the beach. And
I think that is probably one of the busiest months
It
here in
is.
Pensacola.
it is. And getting the end of the week slot was more important. So
Yeah.
I'm very glad that the Hilton was able to accommodate us on
Me
that
too.
front. And I think a lot of people will be pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
That comment has come up consistently the last couple of years.
What, being at the end of the week?
Yeah, they wanted us to move it back, and we finally got it. So hopefully that will make a lot of people very happy.
Cool. So we're calling for sponsorships now. We're calling for any speaker ideas now.
Yeah.
Is there any speaker ideas that you guys know for sure we would like to try? Gary V. Anybody at all? Gary V. Anybody? Anyone? I mean, I'm just saying.
Subliminal message there.
Yeah. It's
I'm
more
gonna tag him too on the tweeters.
I believe it.
On the tweeters. Yeah.
I can't believe I said that. So, on the topic side, cybersecurity, we definitely want to get into more deeper dive type stuff.
Right.
So if you're at that expert level and know how to talk to a group of people that are on that same level,
Yeah.
the latest and greatest things that are going on in that field, we want to hear from you.
Yeah.
So
Those guys are probably buried pretty deep into the military sides of things and in sort of the
Exactly.
Department of Defense and
But-
black suits and
Yeah.
they don't really exist kind of world, right?
Exactly. So programming at ITEN WIRED, if you want to be a speaker, just submit your bio and maybe a short abstract of what you want to talk about. Any links to YouTube videos you have out there
Yeah.
of you speaking, that'd be great too.
So
But
cyber robotics.
cyber robotics,
AI.
AI, digital
yeah.
marketing,
Yes.
just
That's got some pretty good hookup on that digital marketing side of things.
Yeah.
You guys went to that convention in New Orleans or whatever. Y'all met a lot of people.
excuse me. Another topic that we really were surprised by the turnout was the whole influencer panel we
Yeah.
had as well. So anything with the
Social media side.
being on social media, how to become an influencer, and that would be I think
pretty cool.
very well received as well.
So that's a whole new world that is obviously going to be viable because it's not going away.
No.
And people they're making money. Jack and them are making money with it. I'm amazed. So whether you're just trying out products or whether they're actually just being experts on what they do.
Well, and all the high school students we brought in, they ate that
Yeah.
up. That's their world
Yeah.
right there. So
They're the tweeters. The Twitter, the tweets.
You're not going to live that one down.
I know.
Not today.
What are some other subjects? What are some things you think we haven't talked about there that's in this realm? Like, have we gotten it? Like, is the programming and all that stuff? Or is it sort of that's a done deal?
Well, we have gotten away from it. No, I don't think it's a done deal. I think learning how to write code is just almost a basic skill every kid should have.
I think they're like learning it in school now,
They are.
like almost from like kindergarten on with the colored blocks and stuff and the logic of what comes next.
Yeah, I would like to see something like that come back. The things that
I'd like somebody to be able to explain it to me.
Yeah.
Like here's the layman's way of understanding programming for those that grew up in Generation X, where you had no instruction manual to begin with.
Yeah, mind you, we don't need anybody talking on Fortran or COBOL or anything like that.
Right.
But something like Python.
Right.
That's a
See,
big.
those words are foreign to me. But,
Well-
but I'm assuming that means easier stuff.
Well, that's big in the Google world.
Right.
So if you're a student, you're dreaming of going to work for Google, you need
You
to
probably
learn
need to
that.
learn it, yeah.
exactly. So anything like that, we definitely want to hear from you. Nothing's off the table. Every year we wipe the slate clean.
Right.
Kick off the planning.
New ideas.
in 2019 January, and we'll just build it from there.
Yeah.
So
Any companies you'd like to think of being present in some way, shape, or form?
definitely-
Amazon, Google. I mean, obviously.
sorry, go
I
ahead.
was just
DJ.
gonna say I really liked the IBM Watson stuff.
Yeah,
and
that was
that's
cool.
Only going to get better.
Yeah.
and I really
And they're
hope they
local,
come
too.
back.
Like,
yeah, I want
Jonathan's
those
here
guys to come
locally.
back, yeah, that was exciting though because it's going to change just immensely. In the next 9 months before we have the show again. So I'm really excited about that. I would love to get some of the people that were at the Career Expo.
Yes.
To become sponsors that weren't sponsors and maybe see a Google or an Amazon or somebody like that too.
Let's team up.
Right on.
And absolutely all our previous sponsors we would love to have back
Sure.
as well. I mean, it's again we get off on a tangent sometimes that we're just talking about the latest in technology and all
Right.
that, but part part of the spirit of the event is to showcase what we have here.
Correct.
And, you know, we have this tremendous talent pipeline from UW-PSC and all the schools.
Yep.
And we want to show those students that there is opportunity here. And we can do that by having them present when they're here attending the event. They go out in the hallway and say, oh, I didn't know that company was here. And, you know, go pick up some swag and maybe find a job.
I'm telling you, I want IMCMC to break out. I know they've got stuff in the vault there that would just be awesome.
to share.
Yeah, totally. With
Exactly.
just robotics running around. That's just me. I'm a dork that way. I had the erector set growing up as a kid, you know, and all the things that,
Cool
you know, you
thing.
tried to make Johnny Number 5 and all that. And yeah.
We need to mention the University of South Alabama. They did send some
Yeah,
students
that's right.
to participate. They've been in the cyber range competition.
Yeah.
So
So we're pretty much regional now with this thing, right? It's
That's
not
what I
really just
want to
local.
see.
I mean, you got Alabama, you got some people from Georgia came in,
yes,
Yep.
and we want more actually.
right? So bring it. So where can I get some information then? Where are we sending them to?
Send them to. I had an old website, but we'll keep it the same. The email address is careeropportunities.expo@ITENWIRED.com.
Cool. Perfect.
And it encompasses more than the Career Opportunities Expo. When we receive information, we share.
Yeah. And so, and we'll have like all this info on our website, right? ITENWIRED.com. We'll have things that we want for this year once we finally decide, like what's going to be.
Yes.
We'll have some
It's
kind
not
of-
up there yet.
Right. We'll have
but-
some kind of information where
Yeah,
people can check it out.
We're doing a little bit of prep work over the holidays here to kind of get everything. We're still messed up with the tweeter comment.
You're among friends.
Get things geared up for 2019. There's some groundwork that I'm trying to get laid down, so the team is ready
Yeah.
to go at the end of January. But it will be up on the site or on social media. So just get signed up for the newsletter, follow us, and just stay plugged in. This is something that goes on year round. People tend to think it's just an October thing. It's not.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep the conversation going year round.
Yeah.
So
Very cool.
Make sure you're keeping tabs on us.
So I'm going to throw out there, we need a slogan. We need the sign off for the ITEN Wired radio show, for this radio show. We need a sign off, like for PBR, for Pensacola Business Radio, it's business is good and your work matters. For here, we need the sign off. So I'm going to throw this out there. If anybody can come up with a sign off, the winner can be my co-host for ITEN Wired Radio at the expo. So if you can think of a good sign off, it's got to be catchy. It can't be off character. Needs to be par for the course. But whoever can submit one to me at you can email it to Keith at 850media.com, and whoever gets the best one can be my co-host. So there we go. We'll see what
That's
happens.
incentive
Can
enough
we
right
add a
there.
caveat and maybe they'll add Cyber Coast to that?
Hey, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm cool with that. So and that's just it. You just find us something that encompasses everything that we do.
Okay.
Good luck, and and put it in a tagline. So we'll see what happens.
One big tagline.
That's
I'll
it.
tell you that.
I like
And
it.
that's okay. I'm
I
okay
like
with
it.
that.
I like
We'll
that.
see what happens. Let's just hope that they're really good at a co-host when they win. So
Our tagline is 2 paragraphs.
Before we wrap up, I just want to personally send out a huge thank you to our planning crew. There's so much blood, sweat, and tears that goes into this thing every
Literally.
year. And I mean, everybody here is a volunteer. They are, taking time away from their job. And like Jay, he owns his own business and he's, making time out for this event. Michelle, I don't know how they even let you go to begin with, but she's there.
she just kind of comes in and asks for forgiveness later.
That's it. Actually, it works out because it's part of my sector strategy
Right.
as far as my outreach is concerned to businesses. So that is my big business outreach for the year, and it works so well. I am totally committed.
There's if you go to the website about I-10, there is in that section. There's the list of everybody that's been involved with the planning of the event, and you need to give them a pat on the back, buy them a drink.
Yeah.
They do a great job every year. And
Do we have space for more if somebody else wants to join in?
Sure. We are always looking for talent. We love to get people in their wheelhouse helping out with the event. So if you got a specialty and you think you can contribute, we want to hear from you.
Yeah. I think when I started, there was, 12, 13 of us? Now there's 20-something.
Mm-hmm. And
Thank God.
the fact that the same people keep coming back every year. I mean, it's a family now, and that says something about how the team works and how their dedication to the event. That's what fuels me every year, just coming back to that group. And
Well, it's nice not having to work with an entire new team every year, too. That on top of everything might make it a little difficult.
And just on a personal level, a huge shout out to App River. They give me a lot of time to do this every year, and I can't thank them enough because it's a passion of mine, and it really means a lot that they support me each year doing this. So
Very cool. All All right. Well, that's about it. If I had a tagline, I'd say it, but we don't yet. So
Insert tagline here.
insert tagline here.
Follow us on the Twitter.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah. You guys can find us at ITENWIRED.com or at ITEN WIRED across everything else, right? Instagram, Facebook,
Exactly.
any social tweet, media, whatever it's called.
LinkedIn. Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. So, okay. So insert tagline here, and we're out.
This has been ITEN Wired Radio. For more information, visit itenwired.com. ITEN Wired Radio is brought to you by IT Gulf Coast, Florida West, App River, and 850 Media.